Good morning. Welcome back to the Healthy Aging in Neighborhoods of Diversity Across the Lifespan study, also called HANDLS. The National Institute on Aging supports the HANDLS study as part of their mission in the National Institutes of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services. Our goal is to study the rate of change in health as people grow older. As a HANDLS participant, you have contributed to our understanding of the health issues, problems, and concerns in neighborhoods all over Baltimore. Several years ago, you were invited to participate in HANDLS when we were selecting residents from Baltimore City neighborhoods. We interviewed you in your home, and then you were examined on our mobile medical research vehicles. We told you that we would return to your neighborhood every 3 to 4 years for the next 20 years to invite you to participate in a follow-up examination visit to our mobile medical research vehicles. It is now time for us to return to your neighborhood for the next follow-up examination. You will notice that some of the tests are the same as the last time you were here. There are also some new tests and questionnaires that may seem unfamiliar. We call this phase of the study HANDLS Wave 4. We will collect Wave 4 information in several parts. We will ask you to consent for each part of the study. We thank you for your continuous participation in the HANDLS study. The first part of HANDLS Wave 4 will require you to spend several hours in our medical research vehicles, MRVs, for examinations. We will ask you to update your medical history since your last examination. We will also provide a comprehensive physical examination. We will ask you to remember all of the food you ate the day before your appointment. We will assess your muscle strength and bone density. We will examine the blood flow in your heart, and we will examine the valves in your heart to see if they are leaking. We will also draw your blood and collect tissue and urine samples. We will ask you questions about your physical activity, household structure, and mental health symptoms. We will also examine your ability to listen, concentrate, discover, and remember new information. We will ask questions about your daily activities, how you utilize healthcare services, and any income or employment changes you have had since your last examination. The second part of Wave 4 consists of an interview on the telephone. We will schedule the time for you before you complete your MRV visit today. The telephone interview will take about 30 minutes and will ask you to tell us about all the food and beverages you had the day before your interview. We will also ask about any over-the-counter medications and dietary supplements you take regularly. The medical research vehicles are comfortable year-round. They are handicapped accessible and provide privacy for exams and interviews. We will serve you a light breakfast and lunch while you are on our vehicles. After your blood has been drawn and you have eaten, you will be escorted to the different testing stations that make up the day of evaluations. If you need it, we can provide transportation to and from the medical research vehicles. We have limited space on our vehicles, so we only have room for participants while we are examining them. We do not have space for anyone to accompany you during your examination. Blood tests and DNA collection. We perform blood tests to look for blood disorders such as anemia, diabetes mellitus, thyroid disease, liver disease, hepatitis, prostate disease, and kidney function. Some blood samples will be used to look at genes that may play a role in age-related diseases like Alzheimer's disease, heart failure, high blood pressure, and cancer. As part of the medical evaluation, buccal cell mucosa cells will be collected from you, if you agree, using the Genetic Origin self-collection system. This system collects buccal cells from inside your mouth by asking you to give a saliva sample by spitting into a small cup. The extracted DNA will be used for epigenetic analysis. Epigenetic analysis lets us study chemical changes to your DNA that may also lead to changes in the way genes and cells work in your body. You cannot eat, drink, or smoke 30 minutes before this test is taken. Medical history and physical examination. The medical history will help us understand your lifestyle and habits and the medical problems you have had within the last 5 years. It will also tell us about your health and your risk for some diseases in the future. You will be asked questions about medications you are taking and update your medical history. Our physician will check your blood pressure and examine your heart, lungs, abdomen, and skin for any abnormalities. You will receive the results from your physical exam a few weeks after your visit has been completed on the MRVs. If there are any abnormalities discovered by the comprehensive exam, you will be notified. If you sign a medical release, we will forward the results to your physician for follow-up care. Physical Performance Battery. The Physical Performance Battery helps us check muscle strength and functioning. It may also tell us how you may be affected by disease and disability as you grow older. Grip strength is used to measure upper body muscle function. It can also help us determine your degree of frailty. We measure upper body strength through grip strength in both hands by using an adjustable hydraulic dynamometer. For the lower body measures, you will be asked to stand and perform several movements. Each test is timed and has a different level of difficulty in order to help us assess your leg strength and balance. Accelerometry, measuring physical activity. The purpose of this exam is to measure physical activity. We're interested in studying the relationship between a person's normal physical activities and their ability to do daily tasks. To measure your physical activity, we will give you a small device called an accelerometer to wear every day for 7 days. The accelerometer is worn on your wrist like a watch. You wear the device the entire 7 days, except when you are bathing, showering, or swimming. The accelerometer collects information about how often and how vigorously you move around during each day that you wear it. This is a safe test. The only possible risk is developing a rash in the area of the watch band on your wrist. At the end of 7 days, you will return the accelerometer to the MRVs, or, if it's more convenient, we will come to your home to pick it up. Dietary recall interview and telephone interview. The dietary recall will be administered in 2 phases. The first phase will be completed on the MRVs. The second will be conducted as a telephone interview scheduled 4 to 10 days after your visit on the MRVs. During this interview, we will ask you to remember all the foods and beverages you consumed in the past 24 hours before your visit with us. We will have some cups and measures to help you remember the amounts. The telephone interview will take about 30 minutes and will ask you to tell us about all the food and beverages you had the day before your interview. We will also ask about any over-the-counter medications and dietary supplements you take regularly. Body composition and bone density. DEXA. For body composition, we will weigh you and measure your height. Bone density tells us about the risk of your bones breaking easily as you grow older. You will be asked to lie down on a DEXA scanner. This lets us see the quality of the bones in your body by using small amounts of X-ray radiation to take pictures of your body. It also measures the amount of fat and muscle. These measures will tell us if you are likely to have osteoporosis, thinning of the bones, a risk factor for bone fractures. You will receive a small dose of radiation with this test. The radiation that you will receive is similar to what you would be exposed to from standing in the sun. Women between the ages of 30 and 55 are required to take a pregnancy test before participating in this test. Echocardiogram. An echocardiogram is an ultrasound test that is used to examine the structure and function of the heart. We will measure the size of the chambers of the heart, the thickness of the walls, and the function of the chambers as the heart pumps. We will also examine how well the heart valves work as they open and close. An ultrasound sensor is placed on the chest over the heart. The echo sound waves produce images on the monitor. These images show the action of the chambers and the valves of the heart. This test does not use any radiation. You will only have this test if you did not have it during your last visit. Resting electrocardiogram. For this test, we will place wires called electrodes on your skin to record your heartbeats, heart rate, and rhythm. This test helps us learn about how well your heart functions. Carotid ultrasound. This test provides information about blood vessel conditions that may relate to heart disease and stroke. After lying down and resting for 10 minutes, we will take your blood pressure. We will place an ultrasound sensor on the surface of your neck to take pictures of the main blood vessel in your neck. This measures the size and the wall thickness of this artery. Endopat. The purpose of this test is to assess the health of your body's arteries. Your blood flow is measured non-invasively through the use of 2 simple fingertip monitors worn one on each hand. Blood flow is measured both at rest and after a blood pressure cuff is inflated on one arm for 5 minutes. Comparing the blood flow values before and after the blood pressure cuff is inflated provides an assessment of how the lining of your blood vessels function. This test of your artery health is usually ordered by your doctor to assess your future risk of heart attack or stroke. There is a possibility of some discomfort while the blood pressure cuff is inflated. Pulse wave velocity. This procedure is designed to measure the stiffness of your blood vessels. As you lie down on the exam table, we will place a small sensor on your neck, your wrist, and your inner thigh. This will measure how long it takes for blood to travel from your carotid artery in your neck to your femoral artery, the main artery in your thigh. Ankle brachial index. The ABI measures the blood pressure in your arm and your ankle. The test allows us to compare the blood pressure in your arms and legs and predict if you are at risk for disease in the vessels of your legs or your heart. As you are lying down and resting, a blood pressure cuff is placed on your arm and leg. Using a handheld Doppler echo monitor, we measure the pulse and pressure in your arm and ankle. This test is safe and involves no needles or discomfort. Audio computer assisted self-administered interview. As part of the HANDLS study, you will be asked to complete a series of interview questions on the iPad with headphones. An iPad is a small tablet computer that is portable. You will be able to see the questions on the screen, and you will tap the screen to select your responses to the questions. These interview questions pertain to your health, employment status and standard of living, activities of daily living, emotions, and interactions with others. Cognition memory testing. This interview is to see how your thinking, attention, and memory change as you age. We will ask you to match shapes and symbols, recall pictures, and imagine how objects look in different positions. You will respond to these questions using an iPad. We will compensate you for your time at the end of your visit to our medical research vehicles. We will also compensate you after we complete your telephone interview. We will send you a report with the results from your physical, blood and urine tests, electrocardiogram, ABI and endopat tests, as well as the bone and body scan. We encourage you to share these results with your doctor, especially if there are abnormal findings. If you do not have a healthcare provider and you would like one, we will assist you in getting follow-up care. We welcome any questions that you may have about your participation in the study or the results you will receive following your visit. The long-term goals of HANDLS are to discover if we can pinpoint the causes of good health in Baltimore's neighborhoods, better understand some of the diseases related to aging, study why some people are healthier than others as they get older, study how health changes by looking at the same people over many years, look at the effects of income on health. Learning about aging is a long-term process. This is why the HANDLS staff will return to your neighborhood every several years to follow your overall change in health and lifestyle. Thank you for your continued participation in the Healthy Aging in Neighborhoods of Diversity across the Lifespan study.